How's it going, everybody? My name is Doodles, and now just as I started filming this, it started snowing outside, which is just absolutely fantastic. So I need a little something to pick me up, and trust me, there's a few stories in here which are going to do just that, because this is This Week in Music 5. The Foo Fighters. So earlier this week, a report surfaced online saying that the Foo Fighters were set to break up, but apparently Dave and Taylor Hawkins have some beef with each other. Apparently Dave wants to go solo and Taylor isn't very happy about it. But a day later, a video surfaced online from the Foo Fighters. Dave goes apparently off to Hollywood to record an electronica album, and the Foo Fighters have been looking for a new lead singer. People they have been looking at include Liam Gallagher, Justin Bieber, Phil Collins and more. However, at the end of the video, the Foo Fighters go on to explain that for the millionth time they are not breaking up, and this is just a rumour and it is not happening, so there's not really much to report really. The Foo Fighters aren't breaking up. Thankfully though, because the Foo Fighters are absolutely fantastic. Dave Grohl's one of the nicest guys in the business, and I'm really happy that they're not breaking up. So yeah, that was a bit of a weird story that came out this week, but I thought I'd share it with you guys, and we'll kick things off a little bit lightheartedly, even if it was a little bit pointless. The KKK. Last Saturday, a KKK rally in Anaheim was interrupted by a group of metalheads. Basically, just to cut the story short, a massive brawl ensued between the metalheads and other people and the KKK. As you can see by the picture, it really did go down. A lot of people got hurt, a lot of people were involved in this. 12 people, I think, in total were taken away by the police, and I believe someone got stabbed as well. The counter-protesters attacked after the KKK were holding signs saying White Lives Matter. These involved people of all races, from white, black, Hispanic. Everyone who was there who was counter-protesting was in for the brawl. 12 people in total across both parties were arrested and 3 people were stabbed. Thankfully everyone did survive. But if you watch the video that's down below in the description box, you'll see it's a pretty brutal fight. Thankfully no one on either party were killed. Jesse Matthew Jr. In 2009, former hospital worker Jesse Matthew Jr. Was arrested for killing Hannah Graham at a Metallica show. He's currently facing 3 life sentences for a sexual assault that took place in 2005, and if he's found guilty of this crime, he could face the death penalty. 3 months after the murder, Hannah Graham's body was discovered with the help of Metallica. Her family put out a reward for her to be found, or any information to lead to her, and then Metallica also increased the reward, and have also released a scholarship in her name, and have generally been very supportive of the family, try to do their best to help. And in these situations, especially bands of this size, a lot of bands would distance themselves from this, because obviously it's negative press that someone at their show got murdered. Obviously that doesn't really make people feel easy about going to metal shows, that people feel that they might be at risk, because this is something that you shouldn't feel threatened or feel as a possibility. But obviously with the Bataclan stuff that happened in November, these things do happen, but thankfully Metallica were really good about it and did everything they could to help get this issue resolved and help bring the killer to justice. He's currently facing 3 life sentences with a total of 90 years and could face the death penalty if he is found guilty of this crime. Dillinger Escape Plan. Dillinger Escape Plan is set to play the UK for the first time since 2002 at Leeds Reading Festival this year. And there's a very famous incident that happened in 2002 in which the singer defecated on the stage during the Reading performance and threw it into the crowd. They got banned from performing in the UK again. They had the petition to get back in, which they've finally been allowed to. And they did get told that it's illegal to shit in public, and you didn't just shit in public in front of one person, you shit in public in front of 60,000. So yeah, you racked up quite a lot of offences there, 60,000 offences to say the least. But thankfully they have been allowed back into the UK, and they are set to perform at the Reading and Leeds Festival this year, which are headlined by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Imagine Dragons and the Eagles of Death Metal. Bruce Dickinson. Bruce Dickinson has been revealed to be an investor in the world's largest aircraft called the Airlander. The aircraft can apparently stay airborne for up to 3 weeks and is used to transport medical supplies, amongst other things, around the world. Apparently you could fit a hospital, or what you need to build a hospital, inside this plane, and take it across the world and erect the hospital. Apparently it is really that big. I've got the measurements. I think it's 302 feet long, 92 meters if you don't want to convert it. So yeah, this is one big vehicle. Bruce Dickinson is said to have invested $360,000 into the aircraft, And he's got some really cool things to say about it. I've got a few quotes here which I'm going to read for you guys now. Bruce says, you want to put a hospital in Africa, you put the whole hospital in the inside of this, start the generator, here's your hospital. You can just plunk the vehicle straight down the farm, load it with 50 tonnes of green beans or whatever, and 24 hours later you land right next door to the processing plant. It's a global conveyor belt. And water, with these vehicles you could drop off a 20-tonne slab of water that is clean, drinkable to an African village. It's astonishing what you can do that you just can't do anything else. I'm not expecting to get my money back anytime soon, I just want to be a part of it. Being a rock person, I could put it up my nose or buy a million Rolls Royces and drive them into swimming pools, or I could do something useful. There are very few times in your life when you're going to be part of something big. Bruce Dickinson has some plans for this himself. He wants to take it to the North and the South Pole and just land on them just for the sake of it, because he's Bruce Dickinson. Why not? Jette Collins. Now this is a bit more of a light-hearted story. There's a 19-year-old kid called Jette Collins who was apparently conceived at the K-Rockathon Festival in 1996 in New York, and he has put out a message on social media trying to locate his biological father. I'll leave the post down below in the description box, and there should be a picture on screen now if you want to check it out. This is really, really weird and interesting at the same time, and I really want to know whether he finds his father. If you are his father, get in touch, he kind of wants to talk to you. Guns N' Roses. Now last week I reported that Chris Pittman took another stab at the reunion tour for Guns N' Roses by stating that it was a money grabber, which I kind of see his point. He did put 20 years into the band, and we don't know for sure whether he's actually part of the band now, so maybe he's just a bit pissed over that. But apparently he's gone back on his word and said that when he released that statement he was drunk, and that is why you shouldn't be allowed to drink and text. But whether he's just had legal threatening issues or whether, I don't know what's going on with him. No one knows whether he's actually in the band or not, so obviously we can't comment entirely on what's going on. We can only speculate, but I believe there is more of a story than just him being drunk and saying stupid things. I believe there's a good chance he isn't in Guns N' Roses, but until that's confirmed, that is only speculation. Alice in Chains. While on the subject of Guns N' Roses, it's been confirmed that for the 2 Las Vegas shows in April, Alice in Chains are set to be the support act for Guns N' Roses, which in my mind is pretty damn cool. If you want a support act, then that's, yeah, I'm really down for that. Shame I don't live in Las Vegas, because I would be so there. Guns N' Roses and Alice in Chains are 2 huge bands from the 80s and 90s, and still have a lot of influence in the world today, and I imagine that it's going to be a really, really great show, and I hope it comes up on YouTube, a lot of the footage, because I can't wait to see how this tour turns out. If you got the show, let me know, and once you've been to the show, let me know what you thought of it, whether it lived up to the hype or not, because I'm really, really interested, being a massive Guns N' Roses fan, and who knows if they're going to keep on supporting past these 2 days, but for now that is confirmed to be happening. Kanye West. So right, it's that time of the video that I like to call This Week with Kanye. I really need to make a jingle for that. If you can make a jingle, hit me up. I'd love to make something like that, because this seems to be a weekly thing. I'm going to start putting it in every one of my shows. But this week, Kanye West took a picture on his phone of a YouTube video, and in the tab at the top of the screen there was a little website called Pirate Bay, and which Kanye West was actually illegally downloading a software plugin for his music production. And for you people that don't know, Kanye West actually threatened to sue Pirate Bay for sharing his music illegally online, and now Kanye West, who apparently, well, he's $50 million in debt, but I suppose that's probably one reason why he's doing it. But a lot of rappers always talk about how it's all about cars and money and bitches and all that shit. And yeah, you can't even afford a $200 plugin. You sell millions and millions of albums, yet you're stealing software. That is just pretty damn low. And then you got caught out. After he was called out on it, a fan made a joke, a GoFundMe page to help get Kanye the plugin, and then one person donated the $200 needed, and that person was none other than Tommy Lee of Motley Crue. He paid for the plugin for Kanye West, and when he made the donation he left a note saying it's not nice to steal, which to be fair it isn't. You threatened to sue Pirate Bay for people stealing your music, and now you're going to go steal someone else's work. And yeah, that's pretty low. And that's just one of many, many dumb things that Kanye does. And I'm sure next week there will be another one. And like I said, if you can make a jingle for this, please do and send me it. I would love to use it in my show, because This Week in Kanye just seems to be regular things. It just makes sense. And I really, really love seeing what he gets up to every week, because it's fucking hilarious. But on that note, that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you see a news article you want me to cover next week, or you see a funny thing with Kanye, leave it in the comment box down below. My name is Doodles. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.